Hello, and welcome to a special bonus episode of Allegedly Astrology. This episode, we're going to be talking about a very special kind of something we didn't expect. And Dana, tell us what that is.
Zohran Mamdani.
We are talking about the historic primary win of Zohran Mamdani for New York City mayor. And you might be thinking, well, is this a little bit niche? But no, this election has reached so many people all over the country and given them a little sliver of hope in these extremely, extremely dark and unprecedented times. So let's get into his chart. Let's learn a little bit about him and see if he will indeed become the next mayor of New York City.
Okay. He was born on October 18th, 1991 at 1:15 a.m. in Kampala, Uganda, and he has a Libra Sun, an Aquarius Moon, and a Leo rising.
Wow, this is a perfect big three for a politician.
Truly, and especially because his Libra Sun is in the third house. A lot of people with strong third house placements who've gotten readings from me will know, or like a third house transit. I'm like, run for local politics if you want.
Yes, especially local politics. It's not like
Ninth
because
house
it's
is more public.
Right. Your third house is your daily routines, how your daily life is affected. And I mean, obviously we'll get to that, but his whole sort of campaign was like, I'm going to just make your day-to-day life a little bit easier.
Free buses. And it's a Libra Sun, so he cares about other people. Sometimes maybe too much, but that's not what I'm here to say. Okay, so he's Libra Sun. The Sun's in fall in Libra, and it's also the sign of justice. His Libra Sun is ruled by Venus in fall in Virgo. I've seen people say that he has cynical ambitions. He doesn't. He's like a public servant through and through. A Libra Sun, Venus in Virgo, these are really signs that like base their lives on other people. So, and then an Aquarius Moon, he is in his seventh house. It's ruled by Saturn, which is in its preferred domicile, which is Aquarius. So his Saturn is with his moon. So he's not someone who is prone to excess. He's not going to have like a gilded mansion or, condo. I don't know.
I think he said his rent, he pays like $1,800 for an apartment in Queens.
Impressive.
I know.
Very impressive.
I know.
That's like Chicago prices.
I know.
Or lower. Way to go, Zohran Mamdani. So America has a moon in Aquarius, so to have the same moon as America, he understands American ideals, principles, and what the moon mostly represents is needs. And then his Leo rising. So he's a star nonetheless. Like he's good on TikTok, right? Which it's ruled by his sun in Libra in the third house. So he really does see himself as a local politician. I don't like maybe he'd be president, but it's not what he's thinking about now. He's literally just thinking about becoming the mayor of New York.
Right, which I feel like is a refreshing take because it seems like everyone who runs for politics these days has just like greater ambitions. And it's sort of like, why can't you do a good job at the job you were elected to do before you start thinking about your next job, right? Everyone in the working world has to prove that they're doing a good job before they get promoted.
Yeah, the promotions
so it's like stop thinking about your promotion before you so
or
it's
they're
like,
tempted by donors.
Exactly.
Which is Cuomo, right? Like he said that Cuomo said that he only voted for himself. So someone was like, he doesn't care about.
Right. I mean, he's a political nepo baby. So
that's what I've heard. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's funny. My mom loves Mario Cuomo, his dad, and she calls him Mario.
That's how they say it on the East Coast, right?
Yeah. So she's like, Mario was great. And so that older generation assumes like, well, if his dad was good, he'll be good. And it's like, I don't know, dude. We're kind of just tired of this kind of politician.
Yeah.
So
we're kind of tired of nepo families, I think, right?
I know. I mean, people say Zohran is a nepo, but he's not really. Like his dad is a professor, his mom is a film director.
People say that about people who have Wikipedia pages, whose parents have Wikipedia pages.
Right. And it's sort of like his parents are successful in their fields, but he's not nepo in that he's not trying to be a professor or a film director. He's trying to do something different.
What they mean is that he didn't grow up poor, I think.
Right.
And for someone who champions the poor, they think that they should be poor as well.
Right. But I also...
They can't think of someone coming from someone like Like, I
Right.
think of
I
someone
just feel
growing
like
up well and not
yeah,
bring up
we've joked about this on the podcast before, but, like, anyone who actually wants to be a politician shouldn't be allowed, right?
yeah.
Like, but it's
No,
sort
I
of
fully believe that. It
but
should be
it's
the
sort of
George
like
Washington rule.
yeah, but he's sort of a perfect candidate in terms of, like, he didn't grow up super rich, he didn't grow up super poor, but he had a lot of access to a lot of different types of people throughout his life, just going to public school in New York City,
Yeah,
and I do think that he, and because he's not very poor and he's not very rich, he's sort of in this happy middle ground of people who are not gonna be overly greedy or overly, I don't know, like, giving out favors to their friends.
sure. He is, I
I don't
mean,
know. That's what I'm hoping. Again, we don't know any
yeah.
of this yet, but
I mean, it can be hard not to give out favors to your friends. But like I probably would, which I don't think I should be president, believe it or not. But yeah, okay. Zoran also has 0 degrees Mars in Scorpio, which is conjunct Mercury and his IC. So it's a domicile Mars, which is also, and it's in the fourth house. This is stabilizing rent, literally a
wow.
fixed, yeah, in Scorpio too. And it's not for the people who, it's not stabilizing. Like Scorpio is all about the underground, right?
Mhm.
So like, and people who've suffered. So it, he's not trying to make life easy for people who already have easy lives.
Right.
But yeah, also to have grown up in New York in the 90s, I understand why you would wanna make it, why you'd be distressed now because it was so cool in the
Yeah,
90s. It was like, It Takes
definitely.
Two, like
Oh my god.
also, Chiron stationed retrograde in Leo 35 days after he was born, so age 35 is going to be significant for him.
But what about
Honestly,
Venus
so that
station
that's
direct?
converse progressions, which is cool. So this Venus station direct in Leo in his converse progressions at 34 days before he was born. So age 34, this is sort of experimental, but certainly age 34 will be 34, 35 are going to be really big for him. And honestly,
He turns 34 this October, right
all
before the
right,
general election.
I don't have any reason to believe otherwise, but he really has to get comfortable with negative press and stuff. Like, and I'm sure he is, especially just growing up.
But what's interesting is that because this is the Venus,
Yeah,
the only negative press really he's really is upset about is the press about his wife.
that's so
And so that
Libra.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Libra and like,
That's so cute.
they
She's so pretty. What are they saying about her?
I don't know.
Sure.
He's just like, "Don't come for her."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. She
"Come
didn't
for
choose
me all
this.
you want.
Oh,
Don't
that's
come for
really
her."
sweet. That's very Mars also in
Yeah,
Scorpio. And then Mercury stationed retrograde 41 days after he was born in Sagittarius. So age 41 will also be significant for him. This is cool.
alright, so to recap, Zoran is a Libra Sun, Aquarius Moon, Leo Rising. We like this big 3 for a politician who's not super shady. So let's fast forward to when he announces his candidacy for mayor.
This was October 23rd, 2024. And the sun was in Scorpio. The moon is in Cancer. So it's water time. The moon's also conjunct Mars in Cancer, which is Mars is in fall in Cancer, but the moon is at home in Cancer. So this is a time when he always planned to run for people who don't have a lot. There's a water trine here. He's emotional. He's in touch with the parts of society that people would rather not look at or talk about. I don't know. Or that politicians, I guess, wouldn't. It's not like people. We're actually frequently talking about this all the time. The North Node, which is the push that you need, is conjunct his lot of fortune, which is like, this was his lot in life, really. Like when people say your lot in life, that's literally what they're talking about, casting lots, the astrology. So a lot of words have astrological origins, such as catastrophe, disaster, but your lot in life has to do with your lot of fortune, and his the North Node was conjunct his lot of fortune when this happened. He was always going to declare that he was going to run for mayor. The sun is on his strong Mars in Scorpio, which is pursuit. What are you pursuing? And it's in his fourth house. So it's also, these are matters that matter to the root of him. Like it's not to say that he doesn't want nice things in life. I don't know what he wants in life. I don't really know that much about him. I just like his ideas, and I think he has a very cheerful demeanor and face while also being a great orator. An orator that I haven't really heard since Obama, you know?
Definitely. I mean, there's everyone's kind of comparing him to Obama, which I think is
I mean, his
fine, but
nodal return is, I'm almost certain, at the next election, presidential
whoa.
election. So I don't know if that's
All right,
a
let's not get ahead of
let's
ourselves.
not get ahead of ourselves.
What we liked about him is that he
Right.
doesn't have necessarily greater
I know,
ambitions.
I just noticed that while you were talking. I was like, "Wow, that's pretty wild."
Yeah.
It could mean anything. Maybe he's a child. So, yeah, so he's also on his birthday, 5 days before he announced his mayoral candidacy, he entered a 10th house Taurus Venus year. So the 10th house is all about visibility. His midheaven is here in Taurus. It's about career and visibility and press. So Uranus is at its last shot in Taurus. It was a big thrust for him. Uranus is active here in his solar return, and his natal Venus is in Virgo in fall. It's conjunct Jupiter, which is in detriment though. So he has a benefic conjunction in debilitated sign, which is in his second house. He truly isn't trying to get money for himself. I think he will earn a lot of money in his lifetime. I don't know how much he'll keep of it, but these are in the signs of service in Virgo. They're not in signs of, like, I don't want to say greed, because I want to be rich, like I'm not,
Yeah.
but yeah, this truly isn't someone he's a spendthrift, I'm sure, practical at worst. I don't know. I mean, people can always surprise you, but his chart suggests that he's being pretty authentic to what he professes in his speeches. And this was really the best time to announce it. I truly mean it. Like, it was a predestined time. The node was on his lot of fortune. He was always going
Whoa.
to, and it's in his ninth house too. So although he's running for local politics, it's also the biggest city in America, the most important
Right.
city in
Like,
America.
obviously, it's not just a local election.
Yeah.
It's much more than that.
And I follow the account Neoliberal Hell, who's been posting about it a lot. And a lot of
Oh
people
my
in the
god.
comments were saying, like, I live in nowhere, Ohio, and this matters to me. Like,
Right.
I don't even live in
Which is
America, and this
amazing.
is exciting to see.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because, I mean, the ninth house is all about what do you see that as like a higher meaning on you? So
Mhm.
that's cool. Also, his progressed moon entered Taurus in his 10th house on October 10th, 2024. I think Chris Brennan says, check for 3 things to confirm it. And so we have a lot of things confirming that this was a time when he was going to rise in prominence in
In his
local,
career.
yeah, in his career. And so the progressed moon there in the 10th house, and his progressed Mars which is domicile in Scorpio, is also conjunct his natal lot of spirit, which is what you choose to do. So a lot of fortune is fate, a lot of spirit is free
Mm.
will. So truly
Mm.
both of them are aligning right now for
Wow.
him.
Just hard for that's amazing. I wonder what it must feel like for those to align. I definitely don't know if I'll ever feel that in my life.
I'll have to check for you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so Dana, what was going on the day of the New York Democratic mayoral primary? What was going on when he won that day?
So I believe that, so this was June 24th, 2025, and I believe, based on some light research, that Cuomo conceded at 10:24 p.m. based on when people were posting their news articles that Cuomo was conceding. And so the sun was in Cancer, the moon was at the final degree of Gemini in his 11th house. The 11th house is the collective and your friend. It's also a house of hopes and dreams, and it's where Jupiter has its joy. So this is because this is where you can believe in bigger things for yourself and others. So it's literally like what other people call pie in the sky, it's not that ridiculous. And so the sun in Cancer, the moon in Gemini, it was also an exalted Jupiter Cassini, which means that Jupiter is very strong in Cancer and it was conjunct the sun. And this is a moment of clarity. And Jupiter is all about hope. And in Cancer, it's about nurturing, it's about mothering. But my aunt said that, like, as soon as you have kids, you could have a slice of pizza. They're hungry. You don't eat. You give your pizza to your kid. Like, your kid needs nourishment. So this is sort of, I mean, honestly, it's like his birth chart does suggest that. I don't think that he's going to go poor, but it's definitely a time when it's like other people need to eat. Like, you can't have banquets when there are starving people outside.
Right. And I feel like, he definitely is choosing a career path that's not going to necessarily make him rich.
Yeah, especially because he
So,
won't take
like,
donations, really wealthy lobbyists or
so
whatever.
he's making sure everyone eats before he
Yeah.
goes.
So Zoran is mom, I guess. Mother.
Zohran is mother.
Mom, Donnie. Sorry.
Mamdani. Mom is
um,
how we say mom in Chicago accents.
yeah.
Mom.
Mom. So looking at this chart, there's the exalted Jupiter Cazimi, which is great. The ascendant was in Aquarius in literally Zoran's natal seventh house of opponents and adversaries. So he gets the concession speech. His time lord, his most important planet of the year, Venus, is domicile. It's strong. It's at home in Taurus in his perfected sign, his most important sign of the year, in his 10th house of career, fame, and honors. It's also opposite Pluto. So although this was a certain win, it's not like he's going up against very powerful, I mean, it's just people don't want him there, right? And they've made people on in the same party as him don't want him to be running. So, and they've made it clear. But Mars in Virgo is conjunct his natal Venus Jupiter conjunction, and it's giving that power. It's power to his plans for service. And Mars in Virgo is also conjunct his progressed ascendant. So in his progressed chart, his rising there. So this is where you progress through life. So Mars there is also empowering him and his plans for life. And where like his perspective, he's made confident by this. It's exciting,
Hmm.
It's his pursuit. Like he also knows that this is predestined, I think.
Okay. Well, he's sort of taken one step towards victory, but he still has not become the mayor of New York City yet. So that election is going to happen on November 4th, 2025. So, Dana, before you say anything, do we think he's going to win? Yes or no? Just your gut feeling.
Yes.
Woo! Okay, tell us why.
So in his solar return, which is October 17th, 2025, the midheaven is conjunct Jupiter in Cancer in his 12th house. So it could be a last minute win. It could be a really tight race, but Jupiter is the planet of gifts, abundance. It's very strong in Cancer, and it's conjunct the midheaven, which represents career and visibility. Also, like a lot of information can come out about him, maybe that isn't savory. It doesn't really matter if he does what he says he's going to do. That's not a guarantee. That's just a possibility with anything that has to do with the 12th house. But his solar return moon is conjunct his natal Jupiter Venus conjunction in Virgo in his second house. So this could point to him getting a salary increase, which it would, of course, if he became mayor. I think, actually, I have no idea about these salaries. I just say things. But also, this rules his sun. His Venus rules his sun, and his sun rules his rising. So this is all very strong. His solar return ascendant is conjunct his natal Mars, which is strong in Scorpio. It's its preferred domicile. Mars is also there with Mercury. So this really says to me like giving a very powerful speech, like a very powerful acceptance speech. We have Mars trining Jupiter. I also like that his solar return midheaven is trining the ascendant because it puts him in that same empathetic watery place. We have Saturn in Pisces trining the midheaven as well. So he has a water trine in his solar return chart. He's really leading with empathy. He's sort of like, how, well, at least this is how I experience like a lot of politicians getting emotional about things. But I feel like he's leading with emotion, but like empathy emotion, not
Yeah.
not like impulsive emotion. And that's really what water's all about. Intuiting what needs to be done and figuring out how to do it. Pluto's conjunct his descendant. So this could be like recounts. It could be not necessarily, it could just be him coming up like against sort of like, titans of industry.
Yeah, I mean, all the businesses in New York are mad about it. They're like threatening to leave. We'll see if they're bluffing or not. But yeah, the
What are you
titans
going
of
to do? Go to
industry are
Austin,
pissed.
Texas?
They might.
I'm being, a bitch. And then looking at election day again, November 4th, 2025, the sun will be in Scorpio and the moon will be in Taurus. It will be conjunct his midheaven, which I love for him.
I love a moon in Taurus.
Yeah, it's exalted there, and the moon will be in his 10th house, which puts him in a prominent
Wow.
position. We have the North Node in Pisces conjunct his progressed fortune. What does that mean? TBD, but it's literally exact, so it definitely feels significant. Fortune, the North Node was
Whoa.
conjunct his natal fortune when he announced his candidacy, and it's conjunct his progressed fortune. Again, the progressed chart shows how you evolve over your life, and that's on his. So this is like the evolution of a mayor, is if we were to write a short story about it based on the astrology. And yeah, just honestly with the moon in his rising chart, or in his, with the moon in Taurus and his 10th house where he has his midheaven. Around 5 p.m., the moon will be on his midheaven. He'll be maybe writing the speech then. It's just sort of interesting to think about the setting of that day for me. Venus is conjunct his natal sun in Libra. Venus is domicile. It's at home in Libra. So Venus was at home in Taurus when he won the primary, and it's at home again in Libra. So Venus in Taurus is sort of really securing for the self. Venus in Libra is about securing for the people, for yourself and others. It's unity. It represents connection. And then, yeah, this is an exciting chart to see. I'll say that. We also have Mars in Sagittarius opposite Uranus in Gemini, which is newly in Gemini. They're both at 0 degrees, which is very interesting. It's in his 11th and 5th house. So this could be a surprise win, which I guess I don't know who would be surprised. Like, we won't be surprised because we want it, I guess, right? But it would still feel so. It would feel like
it would still feel very surprising.
It would feel
like
so
even
good.
The primary win was so surprising.
This could represent people going out and celebrating, which is what I would love to see, right? Like, I don't
haven't done that since Obama.
I was just thinking that, but yeah, I'm getting Blackhawks winning vibes. Sort of like this is we did it.
We did it, Joe.
But
what does that mean? We did it, so.
Oh God.
I know.
I do appreciate that we millennials can't help ourselves a lot of the time.
Ourselves.
But we help each other, and that's what's important.
So is there anything you think could be detrimental, or his chart is as good as it can be, basically, for a win?
I mean, Pluto in Aquarius is conjunct his descendant, is like it's the beginning of a long, hard road.
Right. But like him winning does not mean anything right away, right? Like, you are, as a politician, this is not just for him.
It's the beginning.
It's the beginning of trying to push forward an agenda that everyone is going to push back on you for. And, it's so interesting that politicians run on promises.
Yeah.
And so this is going to be the start of he has to make good on these promises that are
so interesting.
It's, you know what I mean? It's so weird. We're just like, all right, you're going to promise us this, and then they don't have to do it. Like, we're seeing this with Trump, obviously. It's crazy what he promised and is not delivering on. But, like, obviously we expect that from him. Yeah. But it's going to be hard.
He expects that from him.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not going to be an easy road. And, I think, again, I don't want to be so comparative to Obama, but it was such a crazy time, and he had to make so many compromises that I think, he didn't think he would have to make over his 8-year presidency. And I think Zohran is going to have to probably, he's going to find that he has to do that too. And it's probably going to suck.
I don't know how I felt about Obama as literally president, because I don't know most of the things he's done. And I've heard really decent criticisms of his actual presidency, but he was an excellent orator. And the years that he was president were really good times to be alive.
Yes.
I mean, so that's how I base
our
it.
Experience.
Yeah. Right,
exactly.
Right. And so I'm saying there are criticisms, but like that's what I think Zohran brings. Obama represented hope. Right. And that's what Zohran currently represents. And since he has a smaller constituency, even though it's a very prominent, important one, it's smaller. Like, he maybe can deliver on those promises easier. I don't know. Once again, not a politician, but I believe in him and I believe in his chart. So I'm glad that we have that available.
Obviously, like you said, it's the constituency that's smaller, but New York City's population is larger than that of 38 other U.S. states. Just New York City.
That makes sense.
It has twice as many people as the entire state of Utah.
I spent a lot of time there. And honestly, I haven't seen that many people there. So that makes that really tracks, I'm going to say.
It really tracks. All right. So we'll see how this goes. We'll circle back with you in November, and hopefully we'll have something hopeful to celebrate.
Yeah, we're hopeful.
All right. With that, I'm Elise.
I'm Dana.
And this is Allegedly Astrology.
Thank you.
Bye.